days from now, nobody will stop me from being the one that'll throw the switch and gas you out of this life for good, you son of a bitch!
Get away from her, you bitch!
I'm connecting the bypass circuit now, sir. It should take another half hour.
Captain, one of the aliens has just entered the bridge.
Understood.
We're less than 1 million kilometers from the pulsars.
Guys.
And we are there.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Women of Nerd Culture podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sarah, and as ever, I am joined by the wonderful lady of time and space, Becca.
Hello.
As you can see, we are not alone today. It's Women's History Month, and today is International Women's Day. So we wanted to have a chat with some local women doing something that they are passionate about, that benefits the community and kind of helps people achieve dreams and working in media, be it in front or behind the camera. So we have got the lovely Diane and Laura from Fem93 with us.
Hello.
Hi,
Thank you so
guys.
much.
How are you doing?
Doing very well, thank you. Thank you very much for having us.
It's great to have you on, actually, because you're our first proper interviewee guests. We've had Kelly on before, obviously, but she was more of a friend and just having a chat. But proper interviews. No.
You are our first.
No pressure, I know.
Now, obviously, Fem93 has their own website with all the details about what goes on and things like that. But we'll put it all with the socials below the video. But I want you guys to let the people know, in your own words, what is Fem93?
Do you want to say this?
I can. Yeah, try. Diane can correct me when I get it all wrong. So, Fem93 was kind of, I guess, born out of frustration, really. I've always wanted to be either an actor or a writer or just within the industry, but being a working class lass from the Northeast, those avenues are just not open to people like me. And I think growing up, it was very much like, that is reserved for people in London, or people in London with a lot of money. And so I did what my mum and dad said, and I got a proper job in a bank.
Well,
soul destroying.
We've all been there.
Right? And, you know, my career kind of took me on loads of different paths, and I ended up going into politics for a little while. Again, another quite soul destroying career path if you choose to go down that road.
I can imagine.
yeah,
it's a bit toxic. And then I ended up getting into trade unionism, which you do as well, for trade unionism. And then I met Ken Loach and ended up, like, long story short, that's a bit redundant now, ended up on his film The Old Oak, and I just absolutely loved the way it was everything I wanted to do. It was creative, it was filmmaking, it was being around creative people whilst also kind of making a point and doing it for a reason. And also it opened my eyes to the fact that this is actually possible. Like, these people on this set are working, they're at work now, this is their job. And a lot of them were from the Northeast who'd relocated to London because that's where the work is. And yeah, the idea kind of sprung from there, really. It was like, right, we need to find a way to make people understand that this is something that is accessible to them, in a way that is quite welcoming, because there's a lot of ego in the business as well, and there's a lot of competition. And really, I just wanted to make stuff with cool people. So that's where the idea started from originally, and then it was about what does that look like, and it was about trying to get people to see it as a job and understand what happens in the business, and that it's not just, you know, fairy tales. And then I was lucky enough to meet Diane in an acting class that after The Old Oak, I was like, I love this, I'm going to do this. And then we met in our acting class in the Actors Forge, immediately clicked. Her daft compliments my daft.
like us, like me, Sarah.
Yeah.
and yeah, it just is a no-brainer to ask Diane to get involved, and now she's sort of a director with me and comes up with all the brilliant ideas and helps organize them, and yeah, Diane's kind of like really propelled it forward from just a little idea that I wanted to do something with to now we're actually doing workshops and things, and I'll let you talk about what kind of workshops and things we do.
Okay. So the idea with the workshops is, you know, when you think, oh my God, I'd love to try something, but I don't know where I would start.
Yeah.
We're literally going, here, start this. It's a couple of hours and you can see if you like it. And if you do, we can help you take it forward. We can point you in the right direction, sort of thing, rather than people making a huge commitment or a financial commitment that they just haven't got, or just deciding not to bother at all in the first place trying because it's too much and it's too big and it's too scary. So we've done like the likes of cinematography, we've done a screenwriting workshop, we've done improv, we've done how to be an extra. It's like Laura said, everything behind and in front of the camera. Touch wood, people seem to be very much enjoying it, which is nice. And everyone who's come to the workshops have been so amazing, like so amazing, and just jumped in wholeheartedly, keen to learn, keen to engage, and actually very much reminds me of me when I started with the acting class. Just very open to it, and let's see what happens. And we want people to be able to give these things a try. It's good for mental health. It's good for socialization. It's good for so many different things. So yeah, that's our workshops.
That's so great to hear. I've actually got something from somebody we know who went to one of your workshops, which I'm going to go into in just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Comments were nice.
you'll see when we get there. It's just, I mean, I just wanted to pick up on something that Laura said there. It's like, yeah, coming from the Northeast, you don't feel like those opportunities are available to you as much unless you really want to be in a Catherine Cookson, which
right,
stopped making years ago.
Yeah.
But no, when I was like looking at you guys, I found like there were a few little bits and bobs starting up here and there around the place, which I thought was just, it was like so enlightening to see that things are expanding out. I mean, especially with for any listeners or viewers out there who don't know, Sunderland, where me and Becca are based, our Riverside's had a huge overhaul, and we actually have the planning permission for movie studios to be built down there. And I'm thinking, you know, it's a great time for you guys to be doing what you're doing with all of that coming up. But yeah, it's just kind of run by local people, bringing local people together to fulfill all this. And oh God. One thing I did want to also pick up on the website was I really like the fact that you had a whole section and so much dedication to the safe space on set side of things, because I don't think you see it as much as you should, and it's really important to be so open about that kind of stuff, because you know, it all used to be kind of swept under the carpet in the past, and even some recent events as well, especially in like the film industry. And I mean, was that something that you always wanted at the heart of what you're doing?
I don't know that it was at the heart of it, but it was definitely something that became apparent was necessary. So my background is kind of in women's rights activism, and so it's really it's obvious to people like me, and I guess trade unionists and probably women as a whole, actually, that stuff like this being made uncomfortable at your workplace and stuff like that, it just happens. And in the industry, in creative industries, and especially on set, there is sort of a culture of just get on with it. It's just, you just have to get on with it. And there's you know, with the Harvey Weinsteins of the world, there are many of them, like big high profile ones that were allowed to go unchecked for years, for decades, and unfortunately that still happens.
Oh, definitely.
But again, I think it's something that is thought of as, oh, well, it's these big producers who earn millions, who are the ones who've got this power grab and use their power to get what they want from women or what have you. And actually that is not the case. Unfortunately, we've spoken to loads of people from across the UK, but also across the region, who've been made to feel uncomfortable. And it's not just women, it happens to men as well. And it just seemed so strange that people would be put in that position when they want to be doing something that they love, something creative. And these things are difficult to get into, and there's a lot of people who aren't equipped with the tools to say something. Because you're put in a position of vulnerability, you're on your own. You kind of just do as you're told. And we've seen that, and we've seen even locally, unfortunately, there are people who do abuse their power. Some knowingly, some maybe don't realise what they're doing is not okay. And so it was something that we were like, okay, let's have a look at what we can do to try and help, or at least start the conversation. But it's Diane's baby, really. She really took the bull by the horns on that one, really, didn't it? Right.
It really is needed, because when I was looking at the website, obviously we started this conversation a while back, and we were looking at like planning for Women's History Month and Women's Independence Day and all of this, and we were looking at it, and it was one of my favorite parts of your website, because obviously I'm not from the Northeast. I've worked in many different environments. I used to work on cruise ships, and men did that type of thing, and because they were officers, and literally instantly I was like, yeah, that it's needed in every employment, every setting it's needed. And I thank you for opening that conversation, because it's brilliant.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you to say. Thank you. Yeah, we are very passionate about that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's certainly more important now more than ever, especially, I don't want to go into politics today, but especially with what is happening in certain countries, and what is under threat and things like that. I think it really should be kind of like central to a lot of things.
So we definitely want people to sort of keep an eye open, because we're going to be running some training sessions on what it's about, how you can get involved, how your production can kind of sign up to it, as it were. So we will be announcing those dates on the website, and probably all over socials, and tell everybody who'll listen, kind of thing. But as soon as they're organised, we will let people know. And we just encourage people to come along and sort of lean into it with an open mind. I think a lot of people feel like stuff like this is a bit like against men, but it's about creating a safe environment for everybody.
It's helping people who can't find their voice in that moment have the voice all the same. It's creating that distance so there is no pressure. And if the pressure is still there, then it's witnessed by somebody, which changes the dynamic entirely.
Very much.
So, yeah.
We want everyone to have a nice time on set.
Yes, it should be. And that's what it should be. If you're
it should.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Who wants to work in any industry and dread it? So hopefully this will help everyone just feel safer. And to a certain degree it works both ways as well. It's not necessarily just, say, directors or producers perhaps in trying to influence things that actors do. It can work the other way as well, where if an actor starts demanding things that, say, aren't in the script or haven't been agreed, although the safe space on set is predominantly looking from sort of the director to the actor, if there was something the other way around, that would still be applicable, because there is the witness there, and we can say, well, actually this hasn't been agreed, and we'll try and find the middle ground somewhere. So yeah, fingers crossed it makes a difference.
Let's hope so. And we'd love it to become something that's like industry standard as well. If we can get it so that every Northeast production company is using it, and we can sort of be the flagship for that, then hopefully you'll see, the BBC and Channel 4 and all the big ones actually employing somebody to do this as a job, to make sure that everybody's okay. Because it seems like it seems obvious that you just want everybody to be safe and happy and do the job you've employed them to do.
Absolutely.
So it's a big undertaking, but we're confident.
Well, that's it. You've got to, even for like the biggest project of all, you've got to like start at the bottom and just build your way up. And I think it's absolutely commendable what you guys are doing with that. You know, I really wanted to mention that specifically. But I mean, we mentioned your workshops and that a little bit ago there. So I have wanted to get to one or two myself at some point, but obviously, as they inevitably say, life gets in the way. But I am keeping an eye on what you guys are doing, and I am going to try and make one at some point. Now we had a member of the Nerdy Up North community go to your script writing one.
Oh yes.
Do you remember Tony?
Yeah.
Yes, Tony went to that one and was kind enough to provide us with a little feedback. And I mean, I'm just going to say a few points that he made to me, but he's agreed that if you guys want a review of any of your workshops, I can send you the full thing that he said as well. It is a very nice review as well, so you can.
Of course, thank God for that.
You can
We
have
wouldn't
the whole
do that
thing.
to you.
No. I wouldn't talk about it.
We're not that type.
He basically said like he really enjoyed it, first of all. It's been something that he was interested in since he was a teenager, but again, he said the same thing as me. Life got in the way. He saw your advert for it and thought, oh, a local event, and it was free, so it was risk-free for him. So he thought, why not? It was a nice central location in Newcastle, easy to get to. So he went along, really enjoyed it. He's been inspired to look at further workshops and courses and start writing scripts again.
Oh, amazing.
Brilliant. Exactly the outcome we want.
Yes.
Thank you, Tony.
There you go. I'll send you the full statement.
Oh, incredible.
Later on if you want.
Oh, I'm delighted.
But yes, on that subject as well, I know you've got a showcase coming up as well at the end of the month.
Yes. Oh yes.
The 29th at the Black Swan at Westgate Road, isn't it?
Yes, that's the one.
Yes,
that's the one.
I always remember the Black Swan as being the arts centre to me because the centre's under it, isn't it?
Yes,
yes, it is. Head for the arts centre and you'll find it.
Yeah.
We're so excited for that. We've been doing rehearsals now for about 6 weeks ish. God, it's flown over as well. It's flown over. And it's just meant to be another thing that's just fun. And we've got a bunch of amazing actors involved who have just like really, really, you know, they've just really leaned into it.
They've gone all in, haven't they? Yeah.
Because we were involved in a showcase last year, and we just enjoyed it so much. It was like the first bit of stage I've done for years and years.
Since primary school?
Since the nativity, essentially.
I think we've all been there.
And we just loved it, and the buzz, and all these actors were just like, we want to do it again. So, of course, us being who we are, we're like, yeah, we'll do that. So that's where it started, and the 90s just seemed like such a cool theme because we like it's our era, isn't it? We like, we're old. Born in the olden days, if you ask my son.
We're all there with you.
Born in the 80s, child of the 90s.
Absolutely.
That's us all. That's us all.
And you get a chance to see some of the region's best performers be amazing, but as well as that, it's actually designed to just be fun as well and be nostalgic. And I really hope people will come and watch it and be like, oh my God, I remember this. And it's
going to be a few hours away from gestures to everything.
Life.
And I think, to be honest, that's what people need. And it's also Hashtag just saying, it's the weekend of Mother's Day. So if anybody is
Oh, that's a good
for a
idea.
Mother's Day
Mother's Day
gift,
gift.
there we go.
We should point out as well, it is a fundraising event for Fem 93, so that we continue to can continue to run our workshops for free.
Yes.
Because we are time poor, but we are also poor. Poor in the real sense. So we do want to keep doing them. So it would really help us to make sure we can keep delivering these amazing workshops for people, and just keep it going. We just love it.
And I think that's like just such a good thing to say, because it's not your actual job either, is it? It's like what you're doing on top of everything else, and that just proves like how much of a passion you've got for this, and again, I just think that's great.
Oh, thank you.
I've seen some of the social media actually. I think you put out a video. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. I've seen it, and I was like, I need to go, but it's Mother's Day, and I know my 8-year-old would never let me leave the house. So I really hope that there's going to be more socials around it, more recordings, so I can have a proper look at it.
Absolutely.
It looked great.
We enjoy doing that at rehearsals.
I wasn't at rehearsals yesterday, unfortunately, with work. I was elsewhere, and I saw that video, and I laughed and laughed.
That's what I did.
Yeah,
I had a good chuckle. So yes, I'm going to actually send it to our socials so that it's on our stories, so people actually can see what we're talking about when this comes out, because I think everyone needs to go look at it.
Well, we're getting to the point now where we can actually run through the whole set, and it's amazing how I think I cried twice yesterday, and one of them was because I was just so emotional. One of the scenes was just beautiful, and I'm a softie at times anyway, but then the next one was just because I literally was, my sides were split, and I was laughing so much that I couldn't actually catch my breath. So it does have something for everybody, and it should be a really good night out. So I'm really excited for it.
Great. And of course, like, if anybody does want to go, they can find a link to the tickets on your website, or I believe it's Eventbrite.
It is, yes.
Eventbrite. You can find them on there as well. And I just hope it goes well. Break a leg to everyone involved with it. And hopefully, there'll be more of them to come in the future.
Hope so.
Yeah, it's funny. I think everyone's just getting a little bit of a taste for the stage, which is nice. Yeah.
Right. If you don't mind, we're going to step away from Fem 93 for a little bit, because we've got to address the nerdy side of things here. We've got to bring it in.
Yeah.
The bit of nerd culture. Would you consider yourselves nerds?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent.
That was it.
Yes. That's what we would like to see, that enthusiasm. Now, we've always said that, anything can be nerdy. So what are your nerdisms?
Oh, God. How long have you got?
Collectively, we've got Buffy.
Yes.
I think Buffy's cool.
Becca.
Yeah. I don't think Buffy's nerdy. Buffy's cool.
Buffy's cool if you're born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s.
Okay.
It's probably not cool right now.
Okay.
Are you happy about the reboot?
I have mixed feelings. I'm afraid that I'm going to be disappointed.
See, but I thought that about Dexter. I was furious when I heard they were doing a prequel to Dexter, but it is so perfect. So I'm like, if they can do it as well as they've done Dexter, I'll be fine. And I know Sarah Michelle Gellar has been like famously saying no, she's not doing Buffy again until the right thing comes along. And so if she's on board, I'm like, okay,
that's a good point.
I don't think she's desperate for money, so maybe it is good.
Yeah. I'm just worried it's going to turn into the charmed palaver.
Yeah.
But like you said, Sarah's involved, so I'm really, really hoping.
Yeah.
But see, I wonder if with Michelle Trachtenberg having passed away sadly this week, I wonder if that is going to put a spanner in the works, because I think it'd be sad. Well, it's definitely sad, but if she's not going to be in it, where's that story?
Depends if they take after the comics and stuff. So there's potential, but wait and see.
We nervously await.
Yes, very nervously. What
Yeah.
else would
Tell you
you
what
say?
they should do. They should put us in it, and then we can make sure it goes well.
That's a really good idea.
so
Yeah.
anyone
Book pitch. Book pitch.
We'll shout. Let's put a shout out to the creators or Sarah and Becca. Get these two involved.
Yeah, I can fight vampires.
Yeah. Cool.
I could be one.
Yeah.
I want this.
I could totally do it with this illness.
That's Star
I could
Trek.
do it.
I know.
I knew what you meant.
You know what? I haven't actually watched Buffy, but I knew what you meant by doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just funny.
Did you know that after the first few episodes, they had to redo and change the way they did that because they couldn't actually speak. So the first couple of episodes, if you watch it, so they'll speaking like this.
Yeah.
So they had to redesign it. So yeah.
And there's an early fact.
Yeah.
What other things are you nerdy about then?
For me, and this is so historical, this is since I was a kid, the A-Team. I love it.
Okay.
I love it up to season 5, and then as far as I'm concerned, season 5 doesn't actually exist.
I feel that way about a few shows myself.
Yeah, I just love it. Anytime it's on like TV, I've seen it a squillion times. I own it all on DVD, and even if it's just the last 2 minutes, I'm like, oh, stop watching the A-Team. It's absolute tosh, but it's brilliant.
Well, that's just it, though. It's kind of like it's from a time, and like it invokes memories in you. Is how I feel about a lot of the old stuff that I consider tosh. But I love that tosh.
Yes, this is it. I mean, like I'm pretty sure it was the second episode that they ever did. They got themselves arrested because somebody that they knew was taken to prison and was being forced to fight other prisoners for money. So they got themselves arrested and managed to get out of the prison again by filling up black bin bags with hot air from hairdryers, and they miraculously floated over the walls of the prison.
As you do.
I forgot that.
As you do.
I know. I mean, it's how I get home every night from work. You know.
Oh, if only. If only.
You see Diane coming down the street. Excuse me.
Just completely ridiculous, but yeah, just so great. Just proper escapism, I think.
Excellent. I've just let that sink in for a moment.
Yeah, it takes a while, that one. Yeah.
Actually, I had something I wanted to ask Laura. I've been watching your podcast.
Oh, have you?
Yes, I've been watching your podcast. How did you find going into that? And like as a single woman going into the podcasting world, I know you had guests, but I was watching the one especially with what's it, Sarah Gate, about the women's and about the women's mental load. I was just sitting there going, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so I'd been podcasting anyway with I used to run one called Social Think Tank. Me and my husband used to do it. So I'd gotten used to doing it, and then I just became more and more annoyed at the world as a woman. And I think lockdown had a hell of a lot to do with it. Like, I'm very open about the fact that my mental health plummeted during lockdown. You know, I was working full-time from home with 2 kids that I had to also teach from home, having never taught any, like, no, I didn't become a teacher on purpose. And it was impossible. And like I say, I've been involved in women's rights for like a long time. I've been an activist for a long time. And it just seemed like these conversations were reserved for like after you had a glass of wine and you were talking to a trusted friend. You're not allowed to say, I find motherhood impossible. You're not allowed to say things are just harder for women because there's so much more expectation and stuff like that. And I was like, well, we should be having these conversations. And so I looked for people who were trying to do the same. And I just find it really interesting because, to be honest, a lot of it for me is like really common sense and obvious, but it's all stuff that's like, shh, no, you're a woman, so you just have to shut up and get on with it and
Thank
show
you very
people how
much.
strong you are as a woman. It's like, I'm not strong, I am crumbling, I need help. There's a reason the saying is it takes a village, because it does.
So
especially
much,
with
so
daughters.
much this.
Yeah, if you're expected to work and you're expected to look after kids, and this Sarah, oh, I forgot her name, is it Pascal or something, did a really, really funny live show about this the other week. She did it a while ago, but I spotted it the other week, where she said, like, yay feminism, I'm a feminist, love feminism, brilliant, great, but we missed a trick, because we basically fought for our rights to go to work and have equal rights, the same as men. Fantastic. However, now we have to go out and do a full day's work and then come home and run around and do all the housework like it's a hobby. And it's like, there's no help there. We're still expected to do all the stuff we were expected to do, and people don't realize that actually being a mom, or being a Dylan owner,
because Dylan's are just as important.
Exactly.
Yes.
So babies count. And having a house and responsibility like that's a full-time job on its own. And that used to be a job that, unfortunately did get left to women. But it was a full-time job, and we don't get paid for that. And we, women are carers as well. We don't get paid for that. There's just an expectation that you do it. And if you don't, then you're a bad mom or a bad wife or a bad daughter, and that's not how it should be. And yes, blame the patriarchy for that. And again, if people take that as me having to go at men, then they don't understand patriarchy, because patriarchy does actually affect men as much as it affects women, because you have to then be the bloke and and you're not allowed to cry and all of it. So I just thought there's a lot to say. And I do want to get back to the podcast. It's just finding the time.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. Are you looking to go back to it, actually?
I would absolutely love to, especially now. I know some of the most incredible women I've met in my entire life, and they've all got amazing stories, and they're all real people. And yeah, I'd spend hours and hours just chatting to people if I could. So yeah, I do want to revisit it at some point. It's just finding the time, as is always the case.
It always is, isn't it?
Yes, so much this.
Oh, it is. Oh dear. Right. There's a little feature that we've been doing. We trialed it with Kelly, who was our first person on. And we've got some random questions. And I'm going to roll a dice and ask you maybe 3. We'll see. See how they go.
It's usually me doing stuff
I
like
know.
Roles are reversed.
So they're not weighted. I've got a choice of 68 here. Got big green. I've got good old, where's my camera? Good old purple. I've got black sparkle. This one has a battle axe inside of it.
Oh.
We've got heavy metal.
Nice.
And we've got a bit of ice.
Ice, baby.
Want the ice one, or which one would you fancy?
I think we need to after that.
I think ice needs to go after that. It's like we'll have a roll. I don't have a camera set up for me dice, unfortunately, but let's have a go. So the first one, we've got an 8. Right. 80s versus 90s. As we said before, child of the 80s, but grew up in the 90s. Are the 80s or 90s better for music?
90s.
90s? How about TV shows?
80s.
Late 80s.
How about movies?
90s.
Yeah, I think the 90s.
90s?
Yeah, because that's when we got sort of stuff like Back to the Future and all the cool stuff started happening. Yeah, 90s.
Keanu Reeves.
that sums it up.
Oh yeah, okay, fair. 90s.
Cool. Right, do you want the same dice for the next question, or would you like a different one?
Can we have the battle axe one, please?
When that one came up, I could see your eyes. That
one. This one's from a set where like each different dice in the set has a different weapon inside of it.
That's so
Beautiful.
cool.
Beautiful.
This is a little battle axe one.
Very
So let's have a
good.
go. You can see it because the writings are in black. Oh, that's an 8, so I'll roll it again. Right, we've got 4. If you could live in a fictional world for a month, where would you choose?
Like Lord of the Rings, Rivendell probably.
Rivendell?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought
that's a good
it
one.
would point though, because like orcs.
Like,
But they're not in
real
Rivendell.
host. It's just
Oh my god, that is such a tough question.
This is one that's came over
Don't
from the
think too
last
deeply
one.
about it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to live in a world where the Avengers existed, but then I kind of feel like I'd die quite quickly.
yes, it's a bit of a danger point, really,
It
isn't it?
is.
Yeah,
Rivendell's a shout, actually.
yeah. Lots of
Oh, but I wouldn't want to just eat that bread.
lambus bread.
Yeah.
I'd be like Merry and Pippin, just eating it all. We could be Merry and Pippin.
We could.
Second breakfast.
Oh my god, I need time to sit with that. I feel like that's a lot of pressure.
It's a big question.
What if it happens?
Well, yeah.
Like, could I be Sam Beckett and just live his life and go into lots
Oh,
of
nice.
different
I would trust Sam
Ooh.
Beckett as
I like
as
how
the
you've
world.
I like how you've bent the rules there.
You've bent
I like
the-
that. I like that.
He's found a loophole.
Yeah, I like that.
Did you see how that ended, though?
Oh yes,
It's
Well, have
too
you-
sad.
It's so. But have you seen the remake?
No.
I like the remake.
Oh, is it
I've
good?
watched a tiny bit of it and I was
I like
annoyed
it.
because I was like, oh man, it's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
If you want the nerdiest thing I've ever done in my entire life, when I was obsessed with Quantum Leap, my skill books had little hearts on them with Laura plus Scott for.
That's adorable.
I was obsessed with Scott Bakula or Bakula, as I used to call him then.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
adorable.
am a fan of Scott as well, but I know him from his Star Trek days.
Yeah, same.
Yes. He's
Right.
amazing.
I'm going to buy Quantum Leap everything from now on.
I have every single episode on DVD. Early days, Paul bought me the whole set.
How did you tell me this? I'd asked to borrow them all.
Oh, sorry. I mean,
Well, yeah, that's what Diane's doing for the next time she's Right, shall we have another dice, or would you like one of the ones I've already rolled?
can we go, if it's International Women's Day, we should choose purple.
Purple. Good show.
Yes.
5.
What you waiting for?
And that's so appropriate with this week with them reuniting.
Spot on. I have to say, I'm not a fan of them, but that announcement, fair game, that was great.
Yeah.
Yes.
They played blinder with that announcement.
Yeah, they played recently as well at that outdoor festival. They were so good.
Oh, really?
Oh, honestly, I was transported back to my teen years. I
But there
remembered
was-
all the dance
There was
moves.
only 3 of them, wasn't there?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, everyone's very excited about Jay. I was always very excited about Jay.
I think I was a Scott girl. I was a
Really?
Scott girl. Yeah.
It's got for all seasons there.
Yes.
Oh my god! That's my type. Are you called Scott? Fabulous.
Brilliant.
Infinite pattern emerging here.
See, Laura writes a script about what happened in her youth, and it's called A Scot for All Seasons.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Right, what did I say? 5.
Sorry, that was my fault.
I'm loving this.
I've got this. Might be it might be easy. This might be hard. In an ideal world, which actor, director, or other staff member would you get in for a workshop?
Pedro Pascal.
I guess.
I did see your shout out in that Sarah video. The little TikTok video.
My God, Pedro Pascal. Got everything. He can do all the jobs.
Think.
Watch I do something really serious.
No. This is a really tough question. I think I'd quite like somebody like Tom Hiddleston to do it, purely and simply because he's got quite a classical actor background as well. And he does a lot on stage, but obviously he does these massive movies and TV shows and all that sort of thing. So I think he'd be a very good all-rounder to have.
Look at her trying to justify the fact that she wants a hot guy. Just lean into it and be honest, like I have.
I probably would have had a different answer to this question until I read something this morning on Facebook on a certain page. I would probably ask David Tennant to come in. Now, I think he's a fantastic actor. Like, you know, he's also got the Shakespeare Company and all that in his background. And I mean, from that to staged and everything in between. But I read this morning that in an interview, he told somebody he would love to come back. He would love to donate his skull.
I saw that.
To be Yorick.
Yeah. That's incredible, isn't it?
What a good idea.
Yeah.
And the picture of him when he was playing Hamlet holding the skull was actually a real human skull. I believe it was a Russian musician who donated it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so it kind of completed that circle, and I thought, you know, like continuing it beyond death.
That's amazing.
Still being on stage all those years later for every single
it's a really
performance.
I really like that actually.
And being so pivotal as well. I mean, talk about a scene stealer.
I know, he just wants to keep his main character energy.
He really does. He does.
And tonight, Yorick, played by David Tennant.
I love that. Actually, do you know what? I'd love to get an entire crew of really kick-ass women, like Greta going in to do direction. And actually, I've got to do a shout out for a lass who's a first AD from the Northeast called Latoya, who's just won an award at the National Television Society Awards. She's the best first AD. That's first assistant director. Sorry, that was being a bit.
Technical speak.
She basically tells people what to do on set. So the director tells her, and she tells everybody else. And she's amazing, and she's so talented. And there's loads of really amazing talent up here, so we could definitely fill a room with very, very cool, clever, professional people.
Yeah, it wouldn't be difficult to get a room full at all.
No.
Right, should we do one more, and then I've got maybe one thing that I definitely want to ask you before we go anyway. Do you want to pick a dice? Oh, there's purple there.
Can we go black sparkly?
Ooh,
black sparkly is a good way to end the evening, I think.
Yeah. A bit of goth sparkle. And that is a 3. We haven't had 3, have we? No. What's been your favourite experience with Fem 93 so far?
Do you know what? It's really difficult because, like, I've enjoyed everything we've done.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a valid answer.
Yeah. There's no wrong answers.
Just working with Diane.
Oh.
Just letting her work with me.
I've known Diane for a long time, and it is a privilege.
True. So true.
I've loved seeing something go from a concept to a reality. That's been really, really cool. Because
really rewarding.
Oh, Dylan's come to join us. Hello,
hi, Dylan.
Hi, Dylan.
Sorry.
Just shaking his ears when he does that. You've got to, like, just in case something comes flying at you. Hi.
Okay, baby. We get distracted
by
dogs.
Sarah knows.
That's okay.
Yeah, just that. Oh. Can I let him out the back? He wants to go out the back. We having too much fun over here. I'm sorry.
I'm really excited to try and see how the showcase turns out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been such a labour of love. And a lot of work's gone into it, and I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. It's gonna be amazing. But
I really wanted to come to that, but unfortunately, Saturday nights are the one night that basically it's very rare that I can get out because that's when my partner's busy.
Yeah, it's typical. We'll do next time. We'll do a Friday.
Yes.
Or a Thursday.
Yeah, it's I am excited for that, definitely. Like it's because for us it's been something we've worked on regularly since like last August. And now it's almost here, and it's terrifying and exciting, and we can't wait for everyone to like do their performance, because we know they're gonna do amazing. It's gonna be amazing. But yeah, that's gonna be super cool.
Yeah. Can't wait for that. Watch out for more behind the scenes of
I will be. Because I literally was rolling around laughing because I was just like, oh my god, this is going to be epic, and I was gutted that I'm not going to be able to attend.
Oh no.
Solo
I promise we will
parenting.
get something. Oh dear. I don't know when, but it'll happen.
Yeah.
Eventually. Life finds a way.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it does. Right, so if we're starting to wrap it up now, we've got a final thought. Since it's Women's History Month, and me and Becca have been shouting out different women from history, or women that we think are going to make an impact, have made an impact on history. This podcast will be going out on International Women's Day on Saturday. Which woman or women have inspired you? It could be for anything. It doesn't have to be Fem93 related, but
can I say something that might seem really super cheesy?
Of course.
Laura inspires me.
Oh, stop it.
I knew you'd do it. Like she does. Like, the thing is with Laura, right? And you can cover your ears if you want to. But everywhere she goes, she inspires people to start doing more creative things. Like the amount of people that have just met Laura and have started to write and started to act and just got like a bug for the creativity. It's incredible, and that's myself included. So yeah, I find you very inspiring.
Thank you, darling. So I have to say Diane.
No, you don't. I'll just cry if you don't. No, you don't.
I completely understand how you feel, Laura, because Becca did a shout out for me on one of the days.
Oh.
I was so embarrassed.
The thing is, there's so many women throughout history who are inspiring, and the fact of the matter is that not enough of them get talked about. And so throughout the years, I've worked with some incredible women. If you look up the Women's Banner Group, there are some incredible women talked about during that. That was a really lovely experience before I got involved in creativity. But honestly, since starting the Actors Forge, since doing a bit of support and artist work on sets and stuff, I've genuinely met some of the most incredible people, and Diane's included in that. And it makes such a difference when you surround yourself with people who genuinely root for you, and you just want to help each other, and there's no ego, and it really has been life-changing. And the last few years of my life have been some of the absolute best, and I'm so grateful that I know them and they know who they are. We're in chat groups together. And it's just nice to have a team of women who just support each other with no judgment, safe spaces all over the place, and who push you to be better and encourage you to do the things you want to do. And Diane is absolutely that for me.
Thanks. Yeah, there's nobody telling you what you want to hear here.
No, absolutely.
That's 100% how I feel about No Deep North. So it's nice to see that there are other places that are just as amazing as the community that all and Sammy have built here.
Oh, lovely.
That's so nice.
Well, you're on our list now.
Yeah.
Oh. But yes. Honestly, I've really appreciated you guys coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure having a chat, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I was a bit nervous about doing a proper interview, but but it's been fun. It's been fun. It's great. Is there anything else you want to promote or say about Fem93 before we start our sign-offs?
Just anybody who has ever considered it, just get involved. We're not scary, honestly. It's really lovely. And if there's anything that you want to do that we're not covering, get in touch. We love hearing from people.
Open to suggestion.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, we're going to put things like your website, your Instagram and everything below the video for anybody who wants to go and check you guys out. From us coming up, we've got Well, from Women of Nerd Culture, we've got our daily shout outs for women for the whole of the month of March. Again, kind of going with what we've just said. It's 30 days isn't enough, 31 days. I can't remember how many's in March
I've
right
got
now.
no idea anymore.
Anyway, March is not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough days in March for us to do like enough shout outs. So we've just kind of like handpicked a couple to go with. But yes, they're going out on Instagram every day. On the main Nerdy Up North podcast tomorrow, they are talking about Death Becomes Her, which is it's a brilliant movie, and I really need to go and watch it again.
Yes.
I absolutely love it.
It's gonna be Phoebe's first proper podcast, so it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see.
Amazing.
Oh,
Yes,
and she would appreciate that because she's got a little doggy, so she would appreciate the growl that
happening. On Monday, Monsters Up North are doing Blair Witch Project, which is great because it's one I've actually seen.
Yeah.
But I've actually seen that one. So
it's a good start.
Top Grumps will be out on Tuesday lunchtime. We've got Rumblecast back next month when they decide which match they're going to do. Countdown to Doomsday, we'll be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy next. And Trekking Up North are still doing their podcasts, reviewing each episode of Star Trek, whatever comes up on the Dabble wheel. But of course, they're on their own Trekking Up North YouTube channel now. And I think that's me wrapping up, Becca.
That is it. That's us done. Thank you
very
for
much,
joining us.
ladies.
And keep your hearts full and your fandoms fierce as ever. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.